I'm ready. Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning from wherever you are, and welcome to our review of Andor, Season 1, Episode 4. And this episode is titled Where in the Flying Fudge Are the Aliens? But we'll get to that later. Joining me is Zam, who's a bit under the weather, so
Yes, I am.
We'll go easy on him. So before we get into the episodes overall, Sam, what did you think of it?
I liked it. I'm really liking what I'm getting at the moment. I mean, obviously, this is not the Star Wars we're kind of familiar with. This is a very different type of Star Wars, and I'm really appreciating it. Just getting to know the characters and stuff. The lack of aliens does piss me off as well. When brought up, and I was thinking about that too. But overall, I'm loving like real locations. I mean, grounded people and no fucking magical force powers and shit like that. It's very low leveled, and I'm loving this originality, in Star Wars at this moment in time.
Yep, yep, I agree with you. I am really enjoying this show. Like I said, like my biggest gripe is just no bloody aliens. If you look at every scene of George Lucas's films, the prequels, the sequels, the not sequels, the trilogies, all this, there was aliens in every scene, and some of them were at the forefront. Here they're just non-existent, and it is really starting to irritate me a lot. I think it's just creatively bankrupt on Disney's part, and it's a shame because Andor is a fantastic show. It is what Star Wars should have been from the start. You know, this is the audience. This is the target audience. It's a political thriller, okay, and it's taking its time to tell a story. It's not trying to do fan service in every bloody episode. The dialogue is adult. It's not pandering. It's very just you know gritty to the point about the atrocities of the empire and things that are happening. Even like the dialogue between the imperial officers is very believable. It's not pantomime. Like if you go back and just watch Obi-Wan Kenobi, and it was just god awful theatre pantomime compared to this. And yeah, so far I'm liking what we're getting. Um, and on that note, obviously, the show. So Mads, Mike, or whatever, I forget the names. Andor and
It's
what
the
should we call
Stellan
him?
Skarsgård, not Mads Mikkelsen.
Yeah, yeah,
He's
Stellan Skarsgård and Clem. We'll call him Clem because he takes the name of Clem.
yeah.
Which just reminds me of the sitcom Toast or Clem Fandango. But okay, so yeah, he get drops off at a planet, and Skarsgård's character is not going with him. In fact, some other uh, woman is coming to meet them, and he tells them, go with them. And so off they go. They go and meet other rebels, a whopping seven of them, and their plan is to attack. It's like a dam facility, and to steal the payroll and to basically make off with it. And that's their general plan. And while we're there, you get your usual who is this guy, why his plans change, and all this kind of stuff. And there's a lot of good tension there because she can't discuss Skarsgård's reasons for doing it. Andor has to kind of play along. He can't go too crazy with what's going on. And it's just a really good scene. It's very grounded. It shows you like how bare bones the rebellion is at this point in time.
Yeah,
Uh,
what I liked
yeah, go
about
on.
it initially was like when we had the first meeting of that particular rebel, like like Stellan Skarsgård's character had to break through to her. I like the way his interactions with her, like look at me when I'm talking to you. You're like, take this seriously. We're not fucking around. I know you don't like it,
Yeah,
but this is how it's got to be done. Now you got to be on my side. Make sure you convince everyone else. And I like it from Andor Clem's perspective as well. Like he's seeing all of this shit inside the ship, and he's even thinking about maybe stealing the ship but then the droid in the ship says, "What the fuck are you doing, mate?" So, but I did like that, and obviously, like all shows, when it comes to space, somehow you where you park your ship, it's like a fucking 100 miles away from where you're supposed to be
Yeah,
going.
yeah,
So, so,
yeah.
but I
Could
can
just park
understand.
it right,
Yeah,
right nearby. You know.
exactly. But maybe they were trying to keep it undercover and stuff. But with the technology they have, it would be very hard for them to. But this was all in Scotland, by the way.
Yeah,
These are the Highlands of Scotland. It was
yeah. I've been around there. The Highlands. It's really nice.
yeah,
Yeah, it's
fantastic
beautiful.
visuals, and it really goes to show that I mean, some of the stuff we saw in the Mandalorian, especially episode 1 of season 2, which is fucking brilliant, and the one with the sandworm. Um,
Oh, the
yeah,
the visuals on that one
yeah, it was
blew me
fantastic.
away. Yeah,
It was really good, but nothing beats real locations in the day. I mean, as good as special
yeah,
effects
I
can
agree.
be, real props, real locations, real sets, all of this stuff is just it's always so better. Authenticity, that's what it gives it. And seeing this, I felt like I was on
Oops,
another
that's my
planet. It
speaker.
was
Sorry.
great. No problem.
Yeah,
No problem at all.
it's beautiful. Right, I've got a comment here from Van. The core worlds of Star Wars are more human looking, less aliens, not all areas. Yeah, but you know, it's look, you've got the budget now to do it with aliens. Okay, one of the things when Abrams came back with the Force Awakens was, you know, just load the screen full of alien characters and all that. Even if they're not the main focus, they're not there. It's just barren, and it shouldn't feel so barren. It just feels so empty. And I know you can use the excuse of the Empire and all this kind of stuff, but really, I think it just boils down to they just can't be bothered.
By the way,
Yeah,
I did not recognize that was Way from Game of Thrones, but now you mention it, I see it. And by the way, Way from Game of Thrones, I saw her like doing one of these sort of like Comic Con things, and she looks so fucking beautiful. I mean, when she wants to, she can look fucking gorgeous as fuck. And it just goes to show you how much of a great actress she is, and portraying herself. Because here, I wouldn't give her a second glance.
mm, which is
Yeah,
good. It's effective with the
yeah,
makeup and things like that.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, I mean that was the kind of main thing we got with the rebel side of
Well,
it, and
sorry, Ginge. One of the
fun.
guys like came in on a speed bike later on once they got back to the camp. Obviously, a
Yeah,
couple of people, so most people are not really on board on the new guy, but except for the guy who was the watch out. I mean, there's always one guy like that.
that's the one that's probably gonna die later.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Kind of reminds me of that young guy in Matrix as well. He was
yeah,
one of
yeah.
the main,
Rabbit,
yeah, and but we
who
get
was in Home and
but
Away as Damien.
they do have an inside man, and that was the dude on the speed bike. He's like a lieutenant in the military or something like that.
Yeah,
So they got an inside man, which is going to help them with their heist. And I love a good
yeah,
heist.
absolutely. It's gonna get them the uniforms. That's gonna help them get inside and all this kind of
Hmm.
stuff. And that's pretty much what we got out of the rebels. The usual tit for tat. Now, the more interesting stuff was on the Imperial side of it, because here we got just the great kind of politics that's been played, the kind of tussle to one up each other to gain power. So obviously, it's now the
Sorry, James.
fallout. Yeah, go on.
Can I do before we went there though? We did see the fallout. I'm not sure if you're going to that with the cops, with the
I
space
was literally
cops.
about to do that.
Oh yeah.
I'm not doing play
I'm
by
sorry.
play. I'm doing
Yeah, yeah,
scenario with scenario. Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah,
so now we've done the rebel part of it. Then we'll
yeah,
do the Imperials, and then we'll do what Skarsgård characters with the introduction of Mon Mothma and things like that. Uh,
yeah,
so uh, with the Imperial side of it, like I said, we have now the fallout of what happened on that planet, and they've been very thorough in their investigation. They're going through everything, and you can kind of feel like like the Empire saying, "Now, right, this is it. Now, this kind of corporate kind of um,
third
arm of
party.
this
Yeah,
kind of third party protectionism is now gone, and the Empire is now overlooking everything because you lot can't be trusted. Look what happened here, and there's the main kind of corporate security guard in the middle is just like, I had nothing to do with this. Yeah, but you let it happen under your watch. And I just think little things like that, little details like that, it just shows you how on point the writing is, rather than like glancing over a lot of like plot holes that could happen, or illogical kind of getting from A to B. They cover everything here, and the way they do their investigations and their jurisdictions, and it's just like I enjoy the kind of tussle with it. What were your thoughts on this aspect of the show?
Well, what I liked the most was the character of Cyril Khan. He's the guy who wanted to, you know, take the fight to the people who committed this particular crime, while his boss very wisely said, allow it, don't do shit. What I mean? Just let it blow over.
Hmm.
We'll write a report and pretend this never happened. Because in a way, he was kind of wise to it. He knew that
He knew
a
what would
couple of
happen.
security guards. Yeah, he knew. He read the scenario. A couple of
Hmm.
security guards got into a scuffle with somebody they shouldn't have, and they got killed for it. These sort of things can happen. But no, this particular do-gooder, this fucking Jobsworth, wanted to take it further, and he paid the price for it. Not just for him, but his entire regiment. His boss, his
Yep.
colleagues beneath him, himself. And I'm not sure if there was regret on his face. I mean, there was something. There was some sort of. He was obviously upset, but following his path, going home to his mum and everything. In Coruscant, his sorry about that.
That's all right.
His arc could go either way now, in my opinion. He could
That's
either, yeah,
yeah. Yeah.
he
No.
could
No.
either, he,
Carry on.
yeah, he could either, under think shit the Empire a bunch of fucking cunts, and he sides with the rebels, or he tries to make further amends and go deeper into this rabbit hole and try to repair the wrong that he did earlier you know, by putting himself into a good light with the Empire. I mean, he can go both directions. It's hard to
Yeah.
know.
He literally became now the most intriguing character uh, in this show, to see
Yeah.
what happens and where he goes. Because again, like you said, I mean, you summed it up perfectly, so I'm not going to repeat myself. Yeah, and then we had the tussle between the two kind of under officers as well, who were tussling over the
Yeah,
jurisdiction. I thought their politics was really good. Cassian brought up his first Star Wars as a child on Mimban. That's the same war planet where Han met Chewie. Oh,
oh, okay.
completely flew
From
past me.
Solo. Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough.
Um. So yeah. So that was, really, like, again. It boils down to a really solid script and great back and forth, and everyone's now interesting to see kind of what they've done, and it's really well played. And that moves us on to Skarsgård's character meeting Mothma. So we're introduced to Mon Mothma. Um, and I was actually very surprised with this one, because I was expecting, because you're kind of what you're used to with Disney, with like when you've got somebody who's such a prominent figure in the rebellion, you'd expect something a bit more like humble. But she's like really rich, really like well placed within like the higher ups, the higher echelons, and all this kind of stuff. And sitting there talking about using her money to kind of fund the rebellion. But it again, it shows you the reach of the empire. They're replacing people at the banks. The stranglehold is getting more and more to
They
grips. They're
replaced her
consolidating
driver.
their power. Huh?
They replaced her driver. Her driver,
Yeah,
yeah,
they replace her
yeah,
driver, and just things again. That little attention to detail is really, really good, and how they handle the scene of you know, he kind of, it's like the shop is a front to kind of raise funds for the rebellion. So he sells items, they get a shitload of money for it. Everything's overpriced deliberately, it seems, so that they can fund the rebellion. And
yeah. He's playing his part really well, by the way. Just watching him on the ship, like trying to get back into character, puts the wig on and acts the persona out and stuff like that, and then being this, high society, antique
dealer,
stealer, so
art
just yes,
stealer
yeah,
kind of
art
thing,
stealer, so
antique
you can
stealer. Yeah,
so and giving that sort of persona where yes, everything's going to be overpriced, and and yeah, it's genius. It's
yeah,
fucking genius. It's brilliant.
it
I
really
love
is,
it.
because I didn't watch many of the trailers, so I didn't know what his position was. I knew he was like not just what you see as a rebel. I knew he was like placed in there, but to see him as an art dealer, it's actually it's a kind of great front to launder your money to your rebels. And so then from there, obviously, we get Mon Mothma. We're introduced to her husband as well, which was
Samurai
very
Jack.
nice. Samurai Jack, yeah, fucking hell. Yeah, I thought it would be a bloody Jedi from that look.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, but then again, very interesting. Like, he's very much in bed with the very people that are trying to are keeping tabs on Mon Mothma and trying to spy on her and see what she's up to, and he's like really pally with them. So again, it's
Yeah.
just going to be an interesting creation of conflict, and see what his fate will be, or what their fate will be as a couple down the line. So your thoughts on that kind of scene?
Yeah, it is a little bit early days regarding how that pans out. I think the dinner party itself, if we do get that, is going to be very interesting to see, and it's going to just to see how they react to her. I mean, she must probably feel very much alone because you don't really know who her adult allies are. We kind of saw that a little bit in the deleted scene for Revenge of the Sith, to a
Yeah.
degree, but I'm not sure if that's canon. You know what I mean?
I
All
don't
those
know.
scenes.
This is the thing. It's hard to know if it's canon now because they never released like a director's cut of it, which is a
Yep.
shame.
But the
But
one thing for sure is that whatever happens, Mon Mothma's going to get through this because we know she does. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
so
yeah,
she's going to say she's the only person apart from Andor who we know for sure is going to survive this. You
yeah,
know,
absolutely. But it's kind of
everyone
good.
else is up in the air.
Everyone else is up in the air, but it's also kind of good to see the kind of like what do you call it, close calls that she's gonna have on her rise to becoming a rebel leader as well. So that's a kind of nice thriller to expect. And that's pretty much it for the episode. There wasn't any action.
I
Um,
want to bring up Anton Lester, by the way. Anton Lester, he played the sort of like leader of those Imperial guys. You know, like the old one. He had that Tarkin vibe about him, so thick. You know, what I mean, he was
oh yeah,
yeah,
that guy. Yeah,
yeah, the
but
old guy,
he's
yeah,
still too the old guy.
the old guy. He was the remember
Oh,
all
okay.
the
Not the
Imperial,
actual, not the actor that actually looked like Tarkin that talked to that bird. Did you
yeah,
see
the actor
that
who
guy?
looked
There
the
was a
actor
guy
who
that
looked
looked exactly like Tarkin, but much too young to be Tarkin because this is only 5 years
okay.
before.
We're talking about the older guy,
Yeah,
like
the
the
old
boss.
guy.
You know,
Yeah.
like when at one point when both him and the both that lady and his counterpart were speaking to him, you know, regarding issues, and you know, she's saying that there's a rebellion rising. She knows there's a rebellion rising, you know, and like the
Yeah, and he's
empire.
kind of scoffing it.
Yeah, like no, don't worry about that. But still, his persona was so Peter Cushing, so Emperor
Mm,
Tarkin like. I loved it. I really did. It almost
yeah,
made me think to myself,
brilliant.
maybe this guy could have played Tarkin in Rogue One. You know what I mean? There's a possibility. Give him a decent makeup job. I mean, he really like everything about his persona was so Tarkin. I'll be shocked if they don't make him a relative of Tarkin in this. And please don't kill him off because I would love to see this actor in future Star Wars as well.
I mean, they're
He's brilliant.
definitely, yeah, they're definitely he is the Tarkin replacement. But I remember when I saw when she kind of walked in and spoke to another officer that was in her office. I was like, "Fuck, is that? Are they saying that? Is this Tarkin? Because the guy looks so much just like him,
Yeah,
but he's way too young. He looks way too young. 'Cause again, like I said, it's only 5 years before the Battle of Yavin, so it can't be him. But he fucking looked just like him. Um, and yeah, but that's it. But I was kind of it just ended suddenly. Did you see that? Just like
yeah. When they're
you
in the
know,
camp and stuff,
we're in the
I kind of
camp.
knew. Yeah,
Yeah.
I kind of knew that they weren't going to do the heist in this episode. You know, like this was definitely the
Oh
setup,
yeah.
and the
Yeah.
heist
Yeah.
might not even be next week either. Like it might be episode
More
6.
setup.
Yeah,
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 it could
more
be other
setup,
things. Yeah,
putting like the pieces
absolutely.
in play. Yeah, before they do it. You know, and who
Yeah,
knows? Like
because
maybe the heist. Yeah, yeah.
it might follow the kind of pattern of the first three episodes. So it did like 2 episodes of build up, and then the third episode was the execution. So I'm guessing it's doing that because that's what it feels like. It feels like there's like every 3 episodes are gonna feel like a chapter.
I think it's
Kind
going to
of
be
thing.
more like this. I think second episode will still be more set up to the heist. Obviously, they'll probably leave the planet they're on and go somewhere else. Maybe we have some more Mon Mothma as well as those Imperial guys as well. But I think when we do have the heist, that'll be the first half of episode 3, and the second half of episode 6,
Right.
and the second half of episode 6 will then lead on to the next act.
Yeah,
Which will see what they do next.
yeah,
But
absolutely.
there's
Yeah,
but
I agree.
the heist itself, I'm not sure if we mentioned, was they're stealing the payrolls of all
Yeah, I
these
said it
Imperial
earlier. Yeah,
people.
they're gonna steal the
Yeah,
payrolls
yeah,
to
that's
kind of help
brilliant.
fund what they're doing, which is brilliant. Absolutely
Yeah, it's
brilliant.
brilliant. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like it a lot, and I think you think we're gonna lose some people from this
Yeah, yeah,
this
yeah.
bunch
We're going to see a lot of deaths in this. I
this
think
dirty dozen.
I don't think the creators are fucking around in this one. Just the vibe of it is just going to show you just how brutal it's going to be to get to the rebellion aspect of it. So yeah,
Yeah.
but
God,
yeah,
I wish I got more episodes, James, but like we got last week, because
I
uh, you
agree.
know, and there's 12 episodes of this as well, so it's making
I'm
me
happy
wonder
about that. This is the
how they're
first
going to
time I'm
stretch all
happy
of this
about
out.
that. Yeah,
Yeah, it's going to make me
I'm
wonder
glad
how
we're
it's going
getting
to.
12.
Yeah, I mean, like,
Yeah.
is this going to end at the beginning of Rogue One? Is that how they're going to end it? It's
Yes, yes, but not this season, obviously, because I know they've got two planned, and then depending on popularity, they'll either continue or just end it there.
fair
But we'll
enough.
see. But we're going to get 24 episodes in total for now. So lovely,
Yeah,
lovely. Gimme, gimme, gimme. I'm actually a Star Wars show I'm enjoying, so it's good
and
to see.
it's a decent length as well. It's not like 25 minutes; it's 45 minutes.
Yeah,
It's a decent length, and I like my shows to be that long. If you do something like that, then that's the length of it. And it's good to see Coruscant again as well under the Empire's rule. Even
yeah.
though we didn't saw bits of it, it was
But we'll
it was
see.
really
We'll see
good.
more of it for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
So yeah,
yeah.
you gonna
Cool.
give it a
All right.
mark?
Yes. Go for it, Sam. You give them up.
8 out of 10. I thoroughly enjoyed this. It was very good. Didn't need a single action scene, and I fucking loved it.
Yeah, I'm with you. Everything you said. Yep, 8 out of 10, and everything else you said after that. And that's it. I want to thank everyone that joined us in the comments, Vance. You're always welcome, baby. Thank you, my co-host Zam, and that is all. Join us for Zam. What have you got in the works?
But tomorrow is Star Trek Lower Decks, so we'll see you guys for that.
Okay, and that is it. Good night, and let normality resume.
Live
Bye.
long and prosper.